Did you finish it? I know it's a pretty tough problem. Check with your neighbor when you are done or stuck.
I remember doing that. I love that. You haven't done that. Oh, yes.
Got it? I'm gonna call on someone in just a minute. Okay, folks. Can you please show me the end behavior? So the end behavior, I'm glad to see everyone's going in the same direction. It's either both up or both down. And in this case, it is both down because negative leading coefficient, and it's both in the same direction. It's going in one direction. Can we say that? Because
No, it's not possible.
because it's an even degree polynomial. Okay. So Mackenzie, welcome back. Hello. Can you help me graph this, please? What should I do?
X plus 5, so then 1 is like little orange things is -5.
Okay. Shall we call it a 0?
One of the zeros.
Okay.
And then because it's like square and if it's touch it, it's not constant.
Okay. And is it what's it gonna look like? Okay, so it goes like we know that end behavior is this way, so it's gonna just touch it. Okay.
And then your next zero is that 1. So put that over there, and then because it's to the degree 1, it would cross. So you go up, yeah, and then you have your next 0, 3, and then it's off. It's a cube, so it crosses again.
Okay.
It goes back.
Good. Are we good with that? Nice. It is gonna cross it. Yeah, Ella?
It's like types of graphs. Would you want us to find wire stuff?
Maybe. But before that, at that 3, I want the nuance. What nuance am I looking for? Crossing through with a twist.
Twist here. Because it's a degree.
Degree. It does cross through, but just the nuance is that it's gonna like come down for a landing like this, and then say no, I'm going all the way down. Yes. Maybe. Right. So this is something we've done in this unit, isn't it? So it could be. Or maybe when you're done, you just want to draw some graphs for fun. Who knows? Yeah, Ella.
If we over test just write with twist, is that like good enough?
It's not good enough for perfect, but it's something. That's hard to draw.
No, it's not like it's fixed.
I want to see that you're not just going straight through. I want to try some. I'm gonna say it again. Like, imagine that. Ella, I think it's not as hard as you think, but I do appreciate you asking about it. I want you to imagine that you're just a plane coming in for a landing, and you don't want to crash land, so it's just going to be like this, and then this. That's the first part of the twist. And once you get there, you're able to finish by just doing the opposite of that. Now, again, if I just see that you acknowledge with your efforts that it's more than just crossing through, I'll be quite happy. Doesn't that be perfect, Chloe? Good question. Well, why isn't this one a twist at 1? The multiplicity is 1. If it's odd of greater, so if it's 3, 5, 7, 9, that will definitely be a twist.
Except
Except for one, that's only one without. Yeah. Oh, so Ellie asked about the y-intercept, right? Do we know what the y-intercept is? You can find it by making x equals 0.
Is that required on the test?
Well, I find that a strange question. Is that unreasonable for me to ask?
No, I'm just curious.
I'm not going to tell you exactly. It's not what's on the test, but anything we've done in class, or even small extensions of what we've done in class, could be on the test. So I'll prepare for more. That way you'll be ready. Thanks for coming.
What? Will we be expected to 50 times 27 or negative 27?
I think 50 times negative 27 is reasonable. 50 times 57 times 43 might be unreasonable, but 50 times 47 is reasonable. Unlikely. But I do expect you to remember your third grade math. Yes.
On the test, are we allowed a calculator? Or is it a calculator for certain problems?
Oh, okay.
This is library. No. Wait, we still want to do
Pardon?
So we don't have calculator. So like the whole, the like 2 weeks we spent on like the calculator stuff is not.
Oh, good question. We are going to have a small quiz next time that will be calculated.
Wait, next me?
Yeah, next time I see you.
Wait. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. On Tuesday, we have a quiz. That's
And that's what I did earlier.
What? No, how would
You want to meet by Sunday?
No, I feel like I think it's like, isn't it school policy that you have to announce all the quizzes at the end?
No, test. And it's a calculator quiz.
That's like really harder.
Enough whining today. You're beautiful, but you're sure whining today. So I love you. So it'll be like finding maxes and mins and things like that. And zeros. Yeah, you have to be able to use your calculator to find a max, to find a min, to find a zero. Yeah, it'll be some sort of word problem. Okay. So looking at this, I'm going to point to a certain area right here. Now, right here, can you see what I'm doing here? Maybe I should change the color so it's a little bit more visible. I think I could do this. Haha. Okay, for this value of x, if I were to plug this in, then the result would be negative, wouldn't it? And if I were to plug that value of x in, the result would be 0. And if I plug this value of x in, negative. And if I plug this value of x in, positive. I plug this value of x in. Is that clear? Cool. And today's going to be so easy for you. So easy for you. As we finish up our unit, talking about polynomial inequalities. Okay, folks. So I'm not sure why it has a box for the definition of a polynomial inequality. Do you know what a polynomial equation is? Okay, so just replace that equal sign with an inequality, you have a polynomial inequality. Yay. So I'm not actually going to write a definition here, but let's go through this. Consider this function, f of x equals x squared minus 7x plus 10. Is this difficult to graph? I'll give you a moment to graph this on the side. I will be calling someone to help me graph this. Maybe you finished the problem already. You finished this problem already. Check in with your neighbor when you are done or stuck. You should be pretty close to finishing this up, so. Are you finding the vertex first? Is that what you're doing? You can, but instead, I think it's easier to go a different direction. Are you done? I'm just looking for a quick sketch here. Hey, Kate, were you able to do anything for graphing this?
I mean, I started, so isn't 10 is that the y-intercept?
The y-intercept is 10. Nice.
And then, well, I didn't do the vertex first, I probably should have, but I like factored it out, so then it's x minus 7 minus 5.
X minus what and x minus what?
Oh, sorry, 5 and x minus 2.
X minus 2. Okay, I missed. Okay.
Then aren't those like the zeros?
Are we good with this? Yeah, this is perfect. So we find the zeros. How does this help graph it?
Because, well, then you can mark the zeros. And then they're both cross through it because it's a multiplicity of 1.
Nice.
And then you just do the 1, 3, 5.
We could either do the 1, 3, 5 pattern, or if it's just a general sketch, I hope it makes sense that we could just do this. If I'm just looking for a general sketch, if I don't need to have like specifics, but you're right. We could find that beautifully done thing. By the way, thank you for not finding the vertex. I think this is much more efficient.
Oh yeah, so then if it factors nicely, that would be the first step.
It depends what the question's asking for.
Okay.
So, as we can see here, it's not asking for a graph of it. It's asking for what values of it is, for what values of x is f of x equal to 0. So you can see that that's quite easily answered by the question. And then it's asking for other things. For what values of x is f of x less than 0? You see that it's 2 through 5? Does that make sense? Just by looking at it. So here I could write x equals 2 and 5. And this I'm going to write in interval notation, 2 to 5. And then for what values of x is f of x greater than 0? Please write down this answer and make sure your neighbor has it.
Right.
Call someone in about 5 seconds. Chloe, what'd you get for this answer? Are we good with this? Really nicely done. Now I have to say, some of you are obviously doing this class wrong. Like you're nice and you come up and you pay attention. You seem to pay attention. You do the homework. I know there are some of you who look at this and see an ordered pair and say, what's happening at 2, 5? Make sure that everything we do in here has meaning, that it makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, do something about it. Please remember the responsibility of your education falls directly on who is responsible for your education. You. I'm here as a guide, helpful hand, but if something isn't making sense, it's your job to do something about it. And I'm happy to help you out. But I hope that this does make sense. We could have done the vertex here, but do you see how we could actually get the vertex from the zeros? The x-coordinate of the vertex from the zeros? It's halfway in between, because every parabola has to be called symmetry. So it's not like it's going to be like a tweaked parabola one way or the other. It's that vertex will always be between the zeros. So that's a great way to find the x-axis. Did the y-intercept help here? It doesn't hurt, but we see it aligns with what we have. It's positive, so that's good. Okay, easy peasy. Let us move on. Solve and graph the solution set on a real number line of the given polynomial inequality. Is there questions?
And I forgot what the, okay, this is the union, and I forgot what this is.
Oh, intersect? Intersection. That's if you have matching points. If you have an overlapping area, then that would be an intersection of values. We don't normally use that, but there are times. Okay, in order to do this, and for all of these, it's going to be a very visual lesson. First thing we need to do is take that 15 and move it to the left. And we know that this shape is a parabola, isn't it? So all this question is really asking is, where is this parabola? Greater than 0. Does that make sense? It's asking, where is this parabola greater than 0? So to graph it, so to answer this, you're going to graph it. I'll give you minutes to do A and B. I think you could already do these. Check in with your neighbor as you answer each one. I'll be calling a couple people to help me with these. Pardon? Sorry, keeping the graph in mind. I recommend you do what I do. As long as you get the correct answer using good methods, I'll be happy. There are other methods, so you're right, that don't involve graphing. Are you finished with the A, folks? Okay, Kara, can you help us out with A, please?
Okay, so I factored it to be 2x minus 5 times x plus 3.
Are we good with that, everybody? Nicely done. Okay.
If you graph, so I have negative, it intersected at -3 and then -3.5, so negative 5 times.
Negative 5 halves? Okay.
It goes a minimum.
Nice. So it's opening upwards.
Is that as parentheses negative infinity, comma -3, union 2.5, comma infinity.
Are we good with this, everybody? Thank you, Kara. Nicely done. Yes, Haley.
Why is it the -3? Should I have a bracket or?
Oh, would this ever have a bracket? It has to be greater than 0. Now, if it said greater than or equal to 0, then it would have brackets. Good question. Thank you. Okay, Sam, were you able to finish this one? Okay, help us out.
20 over. And then it factors to x minus 5 times x plus 4.
It doesn't seem fair that that one's easier to factor, but okay, keep going.
And then, so the example is negative 20 comma negative 4.
Negative infinity, comma negative 4.
5 comma 3.
And how did you get these?
There's 0, so then I drew the graph.
Oh, so you did draw the graph.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it simple enough for you to draw this in your head and just keep it from there? For quadratic, I think it is not too difficult. You have a negative 4 there, a 5 there, and then we're definitely not looking for accuracy here other than zeros and behavior. Excellent. Thank you, Sam. Oh, all these fun ones. You get to have so much fun. You're working on C, D, E, and F right now. C will be done by Ella. D will be done by Kyson. E will be done by Elise. E for Elise, that's nice. And F will be done by Haley R. Whenever you get a chance, whenever you're done, you may want to skip to yours if I called your name. Work on that. I'll work through this on my own so people at home could see. That C really get much more difficult, didn't it? You could do it though. Just check in with your neighbor and just see how they're doing. I'm waiting for 4 people to come up.
You want us to go up?
Yeah.
Option on that.
Yeah, so you don't have to wait till you're done, but we got Ella for C, Kyson for D, Elise for E, and Haley R for F. Would you rather have the quiz on the second day review or the first day? Do a second day review. It's fine. Yeah, Karen.
Is calculator skills?
Calculator skills along with unit skills. So originally it was supposed to be part of the test, but made the test too long. So we cut that off. We're going to give it to you as kind of a quiz. Yes.
It's just gonna be the whole unit, right? Like based on whole unit also.
You mean the test itself? The quiz? No, it's going to be applications of quadratics, and then to see if you can use your calculator with.
Recording in progress.
It's official. Okay. So example 2. Calculator problem. We have not done enough calculator, have we? Have we? I feel like we haven't done a lot of calculator. It doesn't hurt to have a bit more practice. Yes. I don't. You have to just watch. But I'll be showing. I'll be putting it up here. Okay, folks. So a flare is fired from the bottom of the gorge with an initial velocity of 144 feet per second. The distance s in feet above the bottom of the gorge after t seconds is s of t equals 14t minus 16t. Okay, I don't know what's from the gorge, but the gorge is another word for a big hole. I don't know. So, yeah, chasm. A chasm. I feel like a chasm is bottomless. Ravine. Okay, so would you please show me what this function looks like? What does this function look like? Please show me what the function looks like. You don't need your graphing calculator for this. You just need your hand. Right? We know that it's a parabola that's opening downwards. Yes. So we're just gonna be analyzing this parabola. So it's fires from the bottom of the gorge. So I think that we're gonna have to input this in our calculators. So let's see. Beautiful tea. Okay, so y equals, I'll clear this, 144x minus 16t squared, is that right? Thank you. And here I'll erase that. When I graph that, okay. Have we played with this screen before? I forgot. Are you able to make this look good, like get a good view of this graph? Definitely don't hit zoom. Don't hit zoom. Take control by using the window. Operate that window. Maybe let's see if I can get it.
Wait, it may not be here.
Should anyone else take that?
No, I have extra. Why is it, what's that? Oh, I like a standard.
I know. Why do they use it's too much. The negative 40 for both.
I don't know why it was like.
Oh, mine.
Oh, my goodness.
Why did you? How did you like shove this food on there? That was just like. And then that is what?
I didn't do anything.
Okay. I was like most of like those.
Yeah, I've never did.
Just make.
I need some help. I need some help. Jojo, can you help me with this, please? What do you recommend I do to make this look nice? You zoomed it?
No, I didn't do that, like, when I fixed my window.
Oh, okay. Can you help me fix my window, please? Yeah.
The X minimum is -1, and the X max 2.
2?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Y max 5.
Yeah, I like the negative ones too, because I like to see the axes. And y max is 5, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I graph this, so I'm going to be able to see the whole parabola? True, there's no way to actually see the whole parabola. Did I type something wrong?
I think so. My window's a lot. Yeah, I'm -20, -20, -3,000.
Maybe 3,000?
Yeah.
Hmm. 350 is your y max? I don't think we need to see much negativity in the x's. So what was your big X? 20? Okay, let's see. I want to see a better view. This is good. This is good. I have to say, Jojo, I think just something happened with what you're inputting. But yeah, so if I just want to have a better look, so I really have the meat of the vegan meat of this parabola, then I would have to change the. I think y max we're good. X max is it's too big, isn't it? Let's make that X max like 10. And for the purposes of this session, I'm also going to look down a little bit lower. I'm going to go down to y equals -4. Not negative, how high is this? 300 or something? No, 30? 300. Okay, so I want to see significantly below, so maybe I'll go down to -50. Okay. Now the question is asking, I can't see it on mine. You can see that the zoom is covering up my paper completely. So at what time will it's what is it? The flare, thank you. At what time will the flare strike the ground? Do you see where it's happening? Yeah, the x-intercept. So to get this x-intercept, I think you can get it with factoring, but let's use our calculator for that. Do you know how to use a calculator to find like zero?
Make another line. Zero.
You don't have to make another line.
Yeah, second trace.
Yeah, second trace to go to calculate. And then you hit the 0. Yeah, 2. You understand the next part?
I don't know how to write that.
Exactly.
So you try to do all bound, right?
Do you need some help going through the 0? How to find the 0?
Left bound, just to the left of the calculator, yeah, like, enter. You did it right.
Sure, that's personal.
Left. Like, by that, and enter. That's the left bound.
Exactly. The first thing.
Oh, cool. That's the right bound. Enter again and the
No,
left
just
space.
do plus.
Oh, so.
Oh, you put a negative. Oh, I think.
That's what mine is.
You put a -1.4.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, no. Okay, so to find the 0, it's going to ask you for left bound, you go anywhere to the left. And then ask for the right bound, you go anywhere to the right, then it's going to ask you to guess. And so you move that cursor around until you see approximately it. So for that 0 left bound, I'll hit right there. I'll put in a 10 right there, and then bam. Okay, 9. Yay. I'm sure we could have got that easier with factoring. Are we good with that 0? Okay. And Chloe, could you read me B, please?
For what time T will declare a visible above the rim of the gorge if the gorge is 320 feet.
Okay. So 320 feet deep. That means we're going to have to add a line. Yeah, y equals 320.
There's actually.
Yeah.
You just do y equals 320. So there's be straight lines. And you did that in other time.
Now, can I help you look at this a little bit closer? Because although I want you to avoid Zoom, there is one Zoom that I love. Have I shared the Zoom with you?
Standard?
It's called Zoom Box. It's the very first one. And what do you think that box means? You're going to make a box and it's going to zoom right into that. So I hit enter. And for this, I'm just going to go near the area that I want to see, like to any corner. Take a look, like right here. And then I'll go up. I'm not going to hit anything. I'm just going to go over. Oh, I think I forgot to hit enter. Sorry. Enter. Okay, now down and over. And it makes a box exactly where I want to see. Does that make sense? And now when you hit enter, it's exactly what you want to see. So does it go above the gorge? It does. So it's up to you now to figure out those values, what times it's there. Yeah, in order to do that, you do the calculate, intersect.
Oh, you don't press enter. Just press trace.
So first curve hit enter, second curve hit enter, and then guess. We should all get the same thing. So first time is at 4 seconds. And that 320 represents, yeah, when it reaches that 320 feet high. Were you able to get the other one? If you got it, just check it with your neighbor, make sure they got it too, because there are little things here that just take time to figure out. And I quit out of this.
Literally, like, we're on a navigator. You have. We are. Okay, get out, okay. So near the intersect. How? Let's go to intersect. Okay, so now, first, so click the first line, then you intersect. Click enter, right? The second one, make sure it's there. And then change, enter again, that's more. So make that. Four, right, then you.
I did second, like second, yeah, and then intersect would be, yeah. So you go over there. I know, right? You can like zoom in.
So, did you get your calculator working okay? Does it make sense? Right now is the time to figure it out instead during the test. We're like, I don't know how to do this, right? Here, there's no pressure. So just make sure it makes sense. For B, let's do this without a calculator. Let's do B without a calculator. How would I set this even up?
Without a calculator.
How would I do this without a calculator? And take the parabola, which is, oops. 144t minus 16t. We're going to take this parabola and figure out when it is what with relation to the 320. When it is greater than, it says, oh, so I think it can't be equal to. X is probably not visible. I hope that this makes sense. The question is just asking when is this parabola greater than 320. So we could do this by hand, especially since you know the answer we got is nice, clean. Is it one?
It's a big one. It's in between seconds 4 and 5. It's probably not 1. Because it's not at 4 and 5, right?
Oh, what? I thought it was a nice clean 4 or something. It's 4, right?
It's 4 to like to 5. To 5. It's like
4 to 5. Okay.
but it can't be 4 or 5. So it's be 1.
So it's not inclusive of 4. 59 seconds. That's okay. Everything's gonna be fine.
Are those point behind repeating?
Okay. As the last thing for today, I need to this is the end of this lesson.
What's the answer for P?
I think this was 4 seconds and then 5 seconds, is that right?
Right, so then the answer B be 1 second, or would it be like 4 to 5?
Oh, for what time t will it when it says for what time t, it's not saying how long, but from 4 seconds to 5 seconds.
Okay, so you would write like from
Yeah.
4 seconds to 5 seconds?
Thank you. Yes, from 4 to 5 seconds after firing. And if you put, would it make sense to put 1 as an answer?
Like 1 second above 320.
Yeah, as long as your work supports it and it's a word problem, so you can say it was visible for 1 second. I think that would make perfect sense if I see that 4 and the 5. Because I think it's a little bit ambiguous, isn't it? For what time t will the flare be visible? As a math teacher, I interpret that I want to know the t value, so from 4 to 5. But I could see where 1 second makes sense.
You do like 4 to 5, which is 1 second.
Yeah, that's great. I do want to finish this off with one thing. The quiz that we took last time, and I could stop this just a moment. I don't need to broadcast this. Not last time, but the last quiz we took you so